Welcome to the Loan Arranger Radio Show with Bruce Woodburn, Cross Country Mortgage. Yes, they call me the Loan Arranger, and I'm here to help you guide through the real estate process. Whether you're looking to purchase a home, refinance a home, build a home, renovate a home, maybe you're looking for a reverse mortgage. Maybe you're getting up there and you're limited on your income. You're living off Social Security and a small pension, and it's just not enough to live large, but you got a bunch of equity in a home. Well, maybe a reverse mortgage may be the right thing for you. So Cross Country does reverse mortgages direct. We don't have any middlemen. Matter of fact, everything we do here is direct. You're not getting your credit sold off like these mortgage brokers do. They're all going to these different companies and shopping you all over the place. Do you know when you call me to get pre-qualified for a mortgage that we only do a soft credit pull? We don't need a hard credit pull until we're either ready to lock your rate in or you're under contract to purchase a home. Then we'll convert it to a full credit report at that point. But we don't want to mess with your credit. We don't want to do anything that's going to harm a client in any possible way. As a matter of fact, we want to do better than that. We'll even look at your credit report, and even if it's good, let's say I pull up your credit and you got a 735. And you're putting 5% down and getting a conventional loan. Well, if I could get that to 745 and it gave you maybe $30 better in a loan payment because it gave you a better interest rate, would that be worth it for you? Well, we think it is. So matter of fact, I had a client here the other day and they said, well, Bruce, I went to another place before I came to you and they gave me a quote on a rate. And your rate is about the same thing. And I said, yeah, but you can get a better rate than that. All I got to do is bump your credit score up by 35 points. And I already ran an analyzer. And if we do this, this, and this, it gets you there. And they're like, oh my God, nobody ever told me that. So then I had another client came in this same day. This is just day before yesterday. Comes in and he says, and you guys got to stop doing this. You got to quit going to these other lenders before you come to me, because you end up getting tangled up and then I got to unwind it. This guy, I did his mortgage. I did his daughter's mortgage. He got an ad from New Day veterans thing and went there and applied for a loan, and they literally turned him down. They turned him down. I looked at it in 5 minutes and I said, Arnie, you're fine. You have no issues in qualifying for the home that you want to buy. None whatsoever. I will make it happen for you. We wrote him a pre-approval letter. I underwrote the loan, and by God, he's out shopping for a home right now. And he's a veteran. So come on. You guys think that as a veteran that USAA and Veterans United are all the best ways to go? I'm telling you right now, they are a marketing company that is designed to trick the doggone veteran. You go ahead and compare their terms to mine. I'll shop against them any day of the week. They're not that great, folks. They're really not. Come to the Loan Arranger. I've been helping veterans for 35 years. Call me now at 407-250. Now, don't call me there. That's my other cell number. Call me now at 407-706-3313 or 813-213-4009. That's 407-706-3313 or 813-213-4009, or go to webringyouhome.com and get your application started right there. You know, we do applications in person. We do them on the phone, or we'll give you our website to go to and create a loan application. I'm going to tell you something right now. We prefer the personal touch. I know that may sound weird to millennials out there, but we don't like to communicate by text. And do we do it? Yes, we do it. Do I do online applications? Yes, I do it. But I prefer the personal touch because you solve problems better like that. You look people in the eye. You know when somebody's being truthful to you. You need to come in and meet with my team. If my team isn't the most honest team and is guiding you in the right direction, believe me, I wouldn't have them working for me, because that's the way I want to be treated. And I would expect that you do too. Call me now at 813-213-4009 or go to webringyouhome.com. Purchase, refinance, home equity line of credit. I got client came in the other day too. He said, I want to look at the difference in a HELOC and a cash out refinance. And I said, well, how much do you owe on your house? He says 135. I said, what's it worth? He said 450. I said, how much do you need and why do you need it? He says, well, I need half the equity out because I'm going to get divorced and I got to pay my wife off. So I'm looking at $200,000 cashing out. I looked at it and I said, I know you got a low rate on the first, but it doesn't make any sense to go that high on a second mortgage. Let's blend the two together and get you one comfortable payment. So we ran both of them so we could see the difference. And of course, I knew what the answer was. And he listened to me, and we're going to consolidate his debt. It's an unfortunate situation, but I help people out in divorce situations all the time. And you know what? You come to me, I guarantee you, here's one thing I will insist on. Nobody's going to screw the next party. Like, I don't care if you're my client and the husband or the wife is not my client. If you're getting divorced, I want to make sure it's equitable for all parties. And that might not work for you. If that doesn't work for you and you want to, like, I just got to screw my ex-wife or my soon to be ex-wife, then I'm not the guy for you. I'm not. And I'm sorry, but I won't be. You can find a broker out there that'll do that for you. But if you want somebody that will look at the situation and help walk you through it so that it's fair and equitable for both parties, then I will be the person to choose for that. 813-213-4009 or webringyouhome.com. I want to talk a little bit about the Fed this week. So we have a new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, and he got on the news on Wednesday and announced that inflation is up and they may have to make a couple of additional rate increases to the Fed rate at the end of Q1 2027 and possibly Q2. And that just sent the market into a tailspin and interest rates started to go back up. Now, Thursdays, they started to recover a little bit from that. But you have to remember, when the Fed makes a move, they're making a move for the future. Okay. They're not making a move for today. So I want to kind of cover a few things on that. But before we do, and we're going to get into that on this show, but before we do, I want you to know what's going on in the market right now. So interest rates presently are running in the mid sixes. That's an average interest rate for the average person, about 6.5%. Some of them may be as high as 6.75 or even 7 if you have maybe weak credit or maybe you need some type of alternative financing. And some could be in the mid to high fives. If you got good credit and maybe you're a veteran or FHA, you can get down into that market. Which is better for you, an FHA or a conventional loan? That depends on circumstances. And that's what we analyze for each and every client to make sure that you're getting the right loan for you. Now, here's other things. The bond market did improve a little bit. Okay. The Fed has currently held steady on interest rates, but they are thinking that there could be a couple of rate hikes. Now, as of right now, oil has fallen. We're at $74 a gallon or barrel, $74 a barrel. So that's helping reduce inflation a little bit, but it's not the only driver in inflation. And inflation is the arch enemy of the bond market. And as if you listen to my show, you're an educated person and you know that mortgage rates are not tied to the Fed rate. They're tied to the bond market. They're tied to the 10 and the 30-year bond. So it doesn't matter what the Fed does, but they do cause havoc in the bond market, but it's a trickle-down effect. So better bonds usually mean better mortgage rates. All right. So I'm going to tell you this. I want you to know that if you are considering thinking about it, just thinking about it, but you're a little hesitant about buying now, I want you to hear this. Buyers right now have leverage. If you can get over the interest rate temporarily, I promise you, if rates come down, I'll refinance you, no lender fees in the future. But you have an opportunity, and you guys are always looking for the opportunity. Now, you know me, I'm a straight shooter. If I don't think it's a good time to buy and I say, hold on, or I say it's not a good time to lock your rate, like I'm telling you on refinances right now, if you're looking for rate reduction, don't do it right now. Get on my VIP watch list. We'll talk about that later in the show. But I tell you when to stop and when to go because it's the right time. I'm telling you, there is 15,000 homes in the Central Florida market right now. That is a buyer's market. But not all communities are behaving like a buyer's market. I got clients that are in bidding wars right now. Right now. Why? Because they're desirable homes or they're priced right. But I will tell you, if you're thinking about buying, maybe you're a move-up buyer, you need to sell your home, or you'd like to keep your home that you have as a rental, start my Leapfrog program and go buy another one. I will connect you with a great real estate agent. Let's get you into home right now. You can negotiate a good deal. There's a lot of inventory, and that's putting buyers back in control. I want to discuss with you the advantages of asking for closing costs from a seller versus price reduction. We can also talk about buying your rate down. Should you buy it down? Should you do a permanent buy down or a temporary buy down? All options for you. But you have to know what works for you. And not all of you are the same. Everyone's a little different. So I have to look at your entire situation and then I can guide you in the right direction. So remember, I like to negotiate closing costs, not as much price. Why do you think I do that? I'll tell you why. I want the seller to take the home off the market and just work with me. So if you had a home on the market that was $400,000 and I wanted to buy it, I would come in at $400,000 and ask for, say, 6% in closing costs. They'd counter and give me 3%. I would say, okay, I'll take it. Now, then if it's a great deal, I'll pay that much for the house because I got it for a good deal. But if I think I could have got a little bit better, I'm going to wait to do my home inspection and I'm going to wait to do my appraisal. Then I'll go back and renegotiate either reduction in price at that point or more money toward my closing costs, which is typically what I do. See, I like the closing cost paid because it's dollar for dollar and it will allow me to buy my rate down low enough to where I may not have to refinance in the future. Now, refinancing, even though I don't charge you any lender fees when I refinance one of my current clients, there's no lender fees involved in it. But there's still money involved in it. You got to have title work, you got to have an appraisal possibly, unless it's FHA or VA. So there's other things that are involved. So if I can avoid you having to do that. Now, what lender in his right mind would try to avoid having you come back to him in the future to refinance? The only one around would be me. And I know that people look at me and go, well, you're leaving money on the table. I am leaving money on the table, but I'm leaving your money in your pocket. And that's why people choose me, because I'm not just doing this show to make a buck. I'm doing this show to help my clients. I've gotten to the point where I've got a great nest egg. I can retire today. I'm good to go, but I don't because I'm helping you. Now I'm helping my clients, helping my clients' grandchildren, for Christ's sake. I've done their children. Now I'm doing their grandchildren. And I'm grateful for that. And I've seen that, like, I bet you 2 or 3 times a month. I've got clients coming back and I got the Chapdelaines. I did the mom, then I did Brent, then I did Chad. Now I'm doing great grandchildren, as a matter of fact, now. So look, the Loan Arranger's here to help you. I want you to write my number down, 813-213-4009, or go to WeBringYouHome.com. You have a friend, a family member, or somebody that needs my help, and I want to be there for you now and in the future. I'm not going anywhere. Okay. I know I'm getting older, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm sticking in here. I love what I do. And now it's my time to truly help people gain wealth. And I want you to call me. We'll talk about buying a home in the future. I'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loan Arranger Show. Don't go anywhere. WeBringYouHome.com or 813-213-4009. I'll be back in 5.